Good morning, everyone. Hi, this is Ben, and welcome to my channel. And this is I Am Worthy. For today, I'd like to talk about the five natural emotions. And I came up with an acronym for that, for it's easier to remember. It's G, like in goat, and then leaf, L-E-A-F. Okay, so let's go through the five natural emotions. Number one is grief, G for grief. So grief, we experience that from day one, from the day we were born, growing up. Like when we lose certain things, there's a grief when someone passed away and all those stuff. Unfortunately, over the years, when something happened like that, we usually encourage the people, get over it and don't worry about it and let it go, whatever. But it is something that needs to be addressed because if we don't give it a full attention and it gets suppressed, over time it becomes depression, which is very common, and that's something that we don't want. And because depression is unnatural emotion, right? So the second one is L. L goes for love. Of course, that's the biggest thing. I realized that it's easier said than done because of our cultural fear. Even me right now, sometimes I think about love. Yes, romantic love, that's easy. Romantic love, usually there's that sexual component, that physical attraction. But as you know, if you've been in love, fall in love over time, it goes away, right? There's that honeymoon period and it's things settle down. So it's something more than that. It's something that it's a natural emotion, it's positive, it's something that we need to work on it. And because when we remove the fear, usually that will come up, because that's the opposite of love, is fear, right? We'll talk about that later too. But anyway, with the natural emotion of love, over time, if there's too much of it also, there can be something called possessiveness, right? Which is not going to turn out good also. So something to keep an eye on, something to think about also. The next one is E. E for envy. So, it's a natural emotion. When we see something, when we see our neighbor have a new car or your friend had a promotion, someone went to this trip or whatever, and you're stuck in your place and you're not able to do that, that's that envy. And a lot of times when it comes up, people saying, hey, that's not good, why are you thinking that way, and things like that. But it is a natural emotion, so it's there. So again, when we are mindful, when we're aware of what's going on in our mind, that's something that we want to be careful about, because over time, again, too much envy becomes jealousy, and that's going to the extreme. That's become an unnatural and negative emotion also. So after E is A, and that's for anger. I'm sure that's a very familiar natural emotion, and yes, it's something that is important, because even me right now, as I get more aware of my emotion, it's something that I have to be very careful. Especially a few years ago, I paid a big price for that, and I call it my $300 and possible imprisonment lesson. Well, let me just give a quick story about that. Is that I was in a different office, and next door came a new store, and it's selling alkaline water. So these guys were putting the lines, they were drilling and things like that. But that new place is right next to my office, where I do my computer work, where I talk to patients, when I do telemedicine and things like that. So I talked to my boss, they talked to them, I talked to the owner next door, nothing happened for 2 weeks every day. That's what's going on, right? So by the last time when it happened again, I was having a telemedicine with a patient, and I just couldn't take it anymore. I remember yelling, stop. But they keep doing it. So I pick up my golf club. I have a golf club at the office at that time, which I don't anymore. Anyway, I walk over there. There were two guys. They were putting the sign. That's where the noise is coming from. I told them, how long it's gonna be gone. They said 5 minutes. They said, okay, that's I finished it. So I walk away. Then I thought that's all it is. 10 months later, I got a subpoena. So the guys putting the sign file a police report that I was threatening them. Even though I did not really point or I didn't do any gesture, I was just holding the golf club. So they did that, and of course, with a subpoena, I needed to talk to a lawyer, and $3,000 later, and also a anger management class later, and that things was resolved, right? So yes, if that went through and that becomes a misdemeanor, I go to jail, and that's the end of my career also. Anyway, so anger, yes, anger, if not attended to, if not taken care of, becomes rage, and that's what happened to me with that lesson. And I hope it doesn't happen to you. We see that a lot with road rage and all those things. One thing I realized a lot is that it starts with frustration, becomes anger, right? And for me, as last night when I was sitting down talking to my wife, I find that it helps to talk to someone, a friend or a therapist, whatever. I talked to her about the frustration I have at work yesterday, and that helps. That helps me release that. Like I said, anger, when it's suppressed or it's not released, it's not addressed, it's a natural emotion. Then it becomes rage, which is uncontrollable at that most of the time. So after A is of course F, which is fear. Again, it's a very common emotion. That's what I talk a lot in the office right now. As far as anxiety, depression, which I see all every day. Anxiety is fear. Depression is guilt, unaddressed over time. Yes, fear. A lot of things that we do, things happen. For example, why do I go to the airport 3 hours before the flight? Because one time I was late. I was running in the terminal, and I don't want that to happen again. But yes, fear is something that we need to be aware. A better situation for that is called caution. Be cautious, but not to extend that it's fear, right? And yes, because when fear is not addressed over time, it becomes anxiety, and that's not a natural emotion, and that affects our life also. Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna stop here. Hopefully, learn something today, something to be aware of. Again, the 5 natural emotion is G, as in goat, leaf, L-E-A-F. Okay, that stands for guilt. L for love, E for envy, A for anger, and F for fear. Okay, have a good weekend, and until we meet again, I am worthy, you are worthy. Take care and be safe, and namaste.